so I'm in the 11th grade, and I plan to go to college and major in business administration. And acknowledging that all elected officials and aspiring elected officials wrestle with ego containment. Name 3 current elected officials in South Carolina who struggle most with containing their egos. One for one state and one federal.
Who has got ego problems? It's a hard thing to say. Don't learn in politics. If you don't put yourself out there, you're gonna be kind of left out. You have to be out there a lot of politics, because if you're not seen, you're not getting your point across. So sometimes people think what people think is ego is actually just being smart promotion, marketing. Because a lot of the time, you take Curtis a lot as a treasurer office. He doesn't have a big advertising budget, so what does he have to do? He has to take a great idea and convince people to talk about it for free. If you're McDonald's, do you have an advertising budget? Walmart, Chrysler. So sometimes you have to promote yourself. So you have to be careful. You may take his ego as actually them trying to get the word out about something important. Curtis spent a lot of time, for example, promoting payback. Very little ad budget. He's convincing people to talk about on TV stations. Y'all know what a TV ad runs, 60-second TV ad runs in most TV markets in the state? 6 o'clock news? Probably $20,000 to $30,000. So you think about those ads, you see they run 2 or 3 times in 6 o'clock news all week long. How much are they spending on those ads? About one station? Then how many TV stations doing music for South Carolina? So if somebody like him had to do, Curtis had to do a big statewide advertising campaign for a week for his payback, he'd be spending a couple $1,000,000. So sometimes ego is misunderstood. However, there are people with egos in politics who put that being right ahead of them being right, or ahead of being right. They're going to be right no matter what the facts are. Boy, I got to name names. Who thinks they're right above all else? Joe Biden thinks he's great, but he's a plagiarizer. Plagiarized in law school. Plagiarized speeches when he ran for president in '88. That's good. And he still thinks he's great. I think the facts show otherwise. Go on YouTube, look up Joe Biden plagiarism, you'll see what I mean. It's 3 NBC News stories. It's dropped about the '88 presidential race a year out. Plagiarized in law school, plagiarized major speeches, whole chunks. So, state official who thinks who thinks they're really big, who's really big on themselves. Wow, I know most of them, so they have to be real careful on this one. I'm gonna go a little bit off on that. I'm gonna say Mark Sanford. To get up there on national TV and talk about your soulmate, when you're trying to work your marriage out with somebody else, you either got a big ego or you really have got something missing up there. But he's living with his mother these days. You know, when you're in your 50s and you've been in Congress for 6 years and governor for 8 years, and you live with your mother because you lost everything in a divorce. Yeah, that happens in today's society. It certainly does. But wow, him after all he was, living with Mama. That's ego. Charlie Sheen has ego. It is costing him. I've got some rules about how I approach politics. I never ask for stuff for myself. I hold Dorchester County Council has been a regional workforce investment. We run the one-stop employment centers in the region. That's all I've got. That's all I've asked for. You know what I get for that? I put about 10 hours a month into that, unpaid time. I don't get a paycheck. I don't get any points. I don't ask for anything for myself. I don't ask much, and I don't ask often. That's the rules I got about politics. I don't hold a state job. I don't run anybody's campaign. I don't get consulting fees. That's the first thing, is I keep myself removed from the process enough where I can say I'm pretty objective and independent. That's the biggest mistake people make. Sometimes they forget themselves. And I've seen this happen. And let me tell you what, it hurts to watch someone fall, and they have over the years. Are people sincere in politics? Absolutely. Does sincerity mean agreement? No, it doesn't. There are people who I disagree with passionate issues. I'll tell you, this is the most honest people in politics I've ever seen, and I like that in them. So disagreement and ego, disagreement and who they are as a person, their integrity, had nothing to do with each other. But yeah, ego, I said, you know, you're going to find that with people in politics, and to some extent you have to do that. You have to do things which are perceived as having an ego. But like I said, check, you know, there's a reality check. How many people can name the last 3 chairs of the State House Ways and Means Committee? So you backstab, you cut deals, you run people over to get that coveted legislative spot. In 20 years, who knows who the hell you were when it's all over, right? What's the lesson in that? One year before, there's a guy named Tom Mangan, representative from Lancaster County. In the 70s and 80s, to mid-80s, he wrote the state budgets, in effect, as chair of House Ways and Means Committee. He was on the stairs. They named the Bridge Act. Y'all notice they named bridges and think that the people who are still alive? I think there's nobody who's dead who gets something named after him. They named the Earl Morris Highway. This highway in Pickens County, Earl Morris. A couple years after that, he went to prison for stock swimming. Swindled 8,000 families in Pickens County, which he once represented the state senate for 30 years, out of $270 million. That's a hell of a surprise. We named the highway after who? Anyway, Tom Mangum, if you go on Highway 200, you get off I-77 at Great Falls, you go through Great Falls, you cross the Catawba River, that bridge named Tom Mangum. There's a big mark at the top of the hill. Tells you who he was. He died in 87, and guess what? They never have put on that stone to this day. Remember State House of Representatives, something dash, to this day it's blank. He was the most powerful person in the state's budget process, and when he died, they forgot him so quickly they didn't even update the marker. Does that tell you something about ego? You think you're important. They want you to take time to throw you in the ground. So ego doesn't matter for a while. At the end of the day, you can be absolutely important, and 20 years from now you forgot. Who was Lieutenant Governor 20 years ago, folks? So, how much backstabbing, deal making, and handshake and Vegas does it take to get that job? And 20 years later, you're nobody. So, what do you have? You have the here and the now, the opportunity you're given, and if you're smart, you work with that. And you don't care about who gets the credit, who gets the blame. You just make the time count. That's my approach to it. 30 years from now, my site would probably be gone. I will be forgotten, possibly. 100 years from now, I certainly will be forgotten. So I said, what does ego matter? Realistically, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, we're not remember you. So you just got to decide how you're going to play that. Hope that I don't know directly answer your question. That's kind of my take on ego in politics. I gave you a couple of names. One Republican, one Democrat. But people I think that have big egos, but ultimately get to consider ego in politics is really something we need to check it out.